your biggest problem that you were struggling with before joining my program?
Overwhelm was a big one. Structure, accountability, having, someone there to hold me to account. I come from a business background, and this was a different scenario where, I'm basically alone and starting everything from scratch. And that in itself was a challenge. But the challenge itself didn't scare me. It was just the time, a lot of time spent in setting things up and just getting to the point where I've got to, make some change here. And so I made that decision, and Mariam, I haven't looked back.
That's amazing to hear that. Thank you for that. So, Esther, what did you choose? Why did you choose me and specifically my program over all other programs?
It wasn't really specifically about your program. It was because of you, Miriam. Your story resonated with me in terms of, facing adversity, deep trauma in your case, and rising above that, not allowing yourself to be the victim, and just having that determination, that resilience, to continue. And I relate to that because I too, way back in 2005, faced immense trauma where my whole life was turned upside down. My husband, at the age of 42, had suffered a massive heart attack, and he wasn't meant to live. Fortunately, he did live for 5 years, but was never the same again. He had to, learn to walk and talk again. He wasn't able to work. And so I had to become the front person. And that was the beginning of my deep personal development journey. But like you, I chose not to be the victim. And again, I haven't looked back since, because it's been an incredible journey of resilience, of determination, and also experiencing lots of amazing things in terms of the kindness of humanity. It's been an amazing journey, but that's the reason why I chose to work with you. It's just the fact that our stories, I connected with you at that level.
I appreciate you a lot, Esther. I remember when we had our first call, our first self-call, and when you shared about your story, about your partner, and how much you were passionate to tell your story, and now you are doing it. And not only that, a lot of women, they can relate to you, and you are impacting lives, you're impacting your client's life, and that's the most important thing that you're doing. That's amazing how you have shifted like in just few months, because you had all inside, but you just needed to know how. It just, when you talked about about your partner, I just remembered about that moment we were talking. So I appreciate you a lot. Tell me, Esther, what did you love the most? Thank you. What did you love the most about my program, and why do you think it worked really well for you?
Well, firstly, structure, which is just amazing because it took away the overwhelm. Here, there was a structure, also accountability, having a mentor like you, extremely supportive mentor there to encourage, also, to call me out, which is really great. I've come from a corporate background. I was a corporate executive, and I'm used to calling the shots. And here's my mentor, calling me out. And that's fantastic, because that, just motivates you. And having that support, so you're not alone. And we're also part of a great group of women. So community, having that extended support and community support. Yeah.
Thank you for sharing that. So I know now, not only you have got your first client, but also the other high ticket clients, and you are even taking calls now weekly, consistently. So many people, you're impacting lives. Tell me, what results what were your results implementing the strategies and everything that we teach in the program?
Yeah, I think one of the big things that I really appreciated was the simplicity of it. The simplicity of the process. Like, you have really, done a great job in simplifying it. And so again, it's about following that process. And that's what I did. There, I had some challenges because I've come from a financial background. So one of the big things was, my challenge was marketing. But again, with any challenge, you've got to just continue to push forward, and it's all part of your growth. Sometimes it's uncomfortable, but yeah, I think the great thing with your program is that it's structured, it's proven. You've done it, and again, as you said, in a couple of months, I'm seeing results. So again, that just confirms that it's a simple, proven system.
Appreciate that. You said about like being uncomfortable. The grow is taking an uncomfortable action, and I remember that you took that decision and you made that uncomfortable action, and now you are seeing the result.
Yes.
I'm so glad for that. Tell me, Esther, how your personal life, has changed since you have joined the program. What has shifted for you both emotionally, mentally, and after
Well,
even getting the result?
well, as I said before, overwhelms. It's not as bad as it was before, because I've got a system in place, and I follow that process. So it's that discipline of following that process, and yeah, so it's certainly freed me up, and to focus on the main thing, right? Rather than being quite, well, I was really quite spread thin, trying to do so many things, have so many balls in the air, and I'm sure a lot of people relate to that when we go out on our own. But so that's the big thing for me, is taking away a lot of that overwhelm, and allowing me to focus on the main thing. Yeah.
And where do you think you would have been today if you have not joined the program?
Oh dear, I would have been doing what I was doing. I would have eventually got there, but it would have taken much, much longer, and I would have been burnt out in the process, because I could feel that tiredness. And that was one of the reasons why I made a decision that, hey, I do need a mentor here. I do need to do something different, because it was costing me. It was costing me, yeah, like I said, in terms of overwhelm, and just I tend to also I had this fear of failure, because I'm used to being a high achiever, and so oh, that's not perfect, I've got to wait, and as we know, perfectionism really is procrastination, right? And so yeah, I just, if I didn't join the program, I would have been doing what I was doing, but it would have cost me, and possibly help my health because of burnout and so forth. Yeah.